We have off on Monday. Most people do. It's a federal holiday, and it's a federal holiday for Labor Day. And it was to pay back all those people who had died to get labor taken care of in our society. After the Civil War in the 1870s, the Republican Party went from ending slavery to backing big business. And from the period of 1865 until FDR took over, Woodrow Wilson is the major big president that was a Democrat during that time period. And he was a president during the World War, so it makes him much more important. And he was also president when the, the 19th Amendment was passed. So that also makes him important. And we also have the legacy of Prohibition and the temperance movement, which is completely different but also important. So during that time period, we had Republicans in control because the Democrats had been the ones who had supported slavery and had left the Union and formed the Confederacy. Because at that time, the parties were not the same as they are today. And big business did not want to at all share any of the profits with the laborers, so people began to strike. And over the 1870s, 1880s, 1890s, early 1900s, 1910s, 1920, you had strike after strike after strike. And the military was brought in to suppress the strikes. Um, it was bloody and awful. And they were fighting for things that we take for granted today: a 40-hour work week, no child labor. Yes, we're looking at you, Arkansas. Better working conditions, safety. The Triangle Fire, how many women died because they locked the door so they couldn't leave? And it was a wooden building and they were set on fire in the early 1900s. And it was awful. And some of the environments that we're now seeing are because certain states are not following the guidelines for child labor. Arkansas specifically has put in a 75-hour work for free for public school kids only, not private school kids, public school kids. They're going to get free labor out of your children. And they're allowing 14 and 15-year-olds to work in factories. This is what people died to prevent. And what we're having in response is unimaginative Republicans who cannot figure out a way, because they don't want immigrants in their state. Like, we're not all immigrants. Unless you're a Native American, everyone is a descendant of immigrants. And if you want to go back, they moved in here 10,000 years ago. Like, there was no one there. Anyway, child labor is antithetical to the labor movement. They wanted it stopped. And you have people like the governor of Arkansas who's bringing it back. And it's not a good idea. Educated voters who are free to make decisions is what you need for a functioning democracy. Not children that are starting their work lives. And I don't mean working at a supermarket for 20 hours a week when you're a freshman in high school. My kid did that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Mandatory hours to graduate is something different. I'm not going to use the word slavery, but indentured servitude it certainly is. And we did away with that a long time ago.